welcome back to another episode of Venus Cove, a show about all things introspective, witchy, and astrology related. It's been a wild start to the Burr months. We are coming to a close with September. This was so quick. Y'all can wake me up now. I'm kidding. I had so much fun and so much insight this September. It has been the most exciting September I think I've ever had. I got really into it. I found out that I can have a type A personality when I put the will to, which is something I never knew about me. And angels, I want to properly introduce to you this season's arrival. The moment we've all been waiting for. The moment we've all been on planet Venus this whole time for the spotlight to be shined down on us. Happy Libra season! Woo! We've made it to planet Venus. Ow! I just want to say thank you to the past signs before me for bringing me the wisdom that Libra knows now. A little spiritual moment right now. But yeah, it is the 7th sign of the zodiac, and it carries all the wisdom that the past 6 have brought over. So she knows her shit. Let's get into it, angels. So this podcast is fairly new, made out of thin air this year, and I want to reiterate a little bit of everything so new listeners know certain words and phrases I say. And I think the best way I can do this is by introducing myself as a Libra. Libra is ruled by planet Venus, hence the title called Venus Cove. I identify as a woman and wanted to create the podcast as its own little woman cave, girl cave, ethereal with a hint of spooky, because all the hot girlies love that unhinged shit. But also, we all know we have a sparkly, plushy side, which is why I call my listeners Venus angels, to give it that ethereal feel. And no, that doesn't mean you have to be a Libra or a Taurus. She's also ruled under Venus. You're simply a part of the Cove when you listen and keep up with the episodes. And what better person to host you than a Libra? Period. So that's my little introduction to the podcast. Now, grab your favorite elixirs, find the comfiest spot to sit in, and let's talk about all things Libra. So, Libra, she is a cardinal sign, meaning she is a natural born leader, an initiator, the start to something new. Hence why fall starts literally on the day Libra begins. Most of the time, it's pretty playful, it's creative, spontaneous energy. We make life magical again. I'm sorry, but we're just magical, ethereal beings. Most of the time, we are the sunshines and rainbows of the zodiac, probably more than Cancer, because we are social creatures that we want everyone to feel the excitement. I'm still this way, but I don't really like to show this side of me to just anyone anymore. Like, obviously, I'll be super happy posting on social media because I like doing that. That's my favorite thing to do. It's one of my hobbies. But I've learned to show it to people who really deserve it, who are very close to me. And if I don't feel safe to show my positivity, then I'd rather just bring it right back home and have a dance party in my room, because it's got to be let out somewhere. But then again, this week has been very nuanced, and I don't know. I'm feeling like I don't really care about showing what I show, positivity or negativity. Well, more so positivity now because it's Libra season, and I'm feeling really positive and light, and I don't know, I might change my opinion on that. But anyway, Libra is the only sign that's not a person or an animal. It's a balance scale. Sure, there's depictions of a woman holding the scales, blindfolded normally, but it's just a scales, angels, so don't be fooled. There's a reason for the woman being blindfolded anyway, because balance of good and evil, darkness or light, positive and negative do not go by human emotions. It's just the natural order of things. So ultimately, we are a balance scale. which in my opinion, I find that kind of superior. Although we are social creatures and humans are our expertise, there's a little otherworldly vibe we give when the party's over. We have a strong tie to duality that sometimes as peaceful Libras, we try to shut out so that we can stay positive, but it's a practice we have to individually go through ourselves to not be afraid of the darkness. Let's get into that. As a Libra, sometimes we can get a little too peace and harmony and sometimes become too delusional in a harmful way. And I've been on this boat. That's why 9 times out of 10, if you ever run into me on the streets, I probably have a more serious face onto me. But maybe that's because I'm just a New Yorker. I don't know. I'm oddly starting to like New York now. It's starting to feel more real crazy. No. But I am starting to appreciate my city just a little bit more these days. It's getting fun. A story for another time. I think you have to choose carefully what delusions you want to get into, especially for Libras. You just can't be delusional about everything. Like manifesting your dreams, that's fine. Be delusional as much as you want, make it grow, let it snow. But other things like friendships and relationships and us being social creatures and all, I know you Libras. Y'all just want to make everything work with everyone. You are so good with the you work with what you got mentality. And you need to let that go when people show you who they really are. It's that simple. Because we can get so caught up in trying to make it all work, but please put your magically incredibly powerful efforts elsewhere. Put it on yourself. And as a Libran, I want to debunk some things that don't sit right with me anymore, probably because I'm growing. And this might be as you grow with age type of thing. But Libras, I feel like need help escaping from this prison that everything is peaceful, sunshines and rainbows. Yes, we do crave harmony and beauty and fairness, but being an air sign has more to do with the mental, detached, analytical part. They don't always live in their feelings. They rationalize them. That's where people sometimes experience Libra as cold or too neutral. Angels, especially Libra angels, we need to find our real voice. You need to find your real voice. We all have to find our voices. But especially the young Libras listening, the voice for yourself, not just the light and positive one. It's okay to acknowledge the world is garbage sometimes. You don't have to keep it together for all of us. And whoever is making you feel like their mother, cut them off. None of this keeping peace at the expense of truth. It's not good for us mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Now, let's talk about duality, because if anyone knows duality, it's Libra. The duality for Libra, though, comes from the scales. It's the sign symbol, right? Libra lives in that tension of opposites. It's very me versus you, truth versus harmony, logic versus feelings. They don't always integrate it well. So you'll see them swing back and forth. Hence why we are known as chronic indecisive people. It's not quite the same as Gemini's two sides or Pisces dreamy versus lost duality, but Libras is more about constantly and painfully holding opposites and trying to balance them, sometimes gracefully, sometimes messy. So now Libras, or anyone who's terribly indecisive, you're probably asking, well, August, how the heckity do you work on this? How can I choose when I see all the sides to things? Well, lucky for you angels, I have figured out some pretty good, healthy techniques to help my brain from frying and doing completely nothing or avoiding decisions altogether, because that's not good either. I think this has really helped me very much, and it's really about practicing it, being consistent with it. And yeah, let's get into it. First and foremost, when Libras are at their best, they lean into their Venus gifts, which are about connection, beauty, and balance from a place of authenticity instead of performance. So my first advice, number one, is you need to pause before reacting. Instead of rushing to smooth things over, give yourself space, mama, to actually feel and think. That pause lets you find a response that's kind and real, not just let me make everyone happy. None of that. It takes practice after being a people pleaser, but I promise it's worth it. And if you look dumb or slow pausing, so the French be it. You're in your own journey, and whoever wants to leave, then by all means, well, the weak ones always fall back first. Number two, practice both and thinking. Let me explain that a little bit better. Libras at our highest, we know it's not about picking one side. Sorry, folks, it's just not true for us. And I know our society always wants to make you choose one and leave the other, but we're the masters of duality. Heck, we probably check in on heaven and hell. However, it is about holding both truths, both sides. Let me play therapist for a little bit. For example, I can say, I can care about keeping peace and be honest about what bothered me. It's about using your voice, using all of it, and not leaving the other decision behind, you know? Because girlies, angels, I have tried so many times in my life to try and say yes to one thing and leave out the other, but it just has never felt true to me, and it feels like I'm leaving a child behind, if that makes sense. I mean, don't get me wrong, it depends on the context, but oftentimes than not, there's a lot of nuances. Moving forward, number 3, speak with diplomacy, but don't dilute the truth. What do I mean by that? First of all, let me make sure I use the word diplomacy right. Okay, here's a definition. I just looked it up. The art of diplomacy is about practicing, conducting negotiations, and managing international relations through tact, communication, and skill to achieve national interests and maintain peaceful relations. Okay, so basically, when we're graceful, Libras are incredible at using our words very smoothly. Yes, we are known to be incredible flirts too, but no, I'm talking about using our words to honor everyone's dignity, you know? We don't avoid conflict, we reframe it. I think for a hot minute there, I think I was being kind of a meanie oftentimes, and I'm still working on that. I think when someone's mean, sometimes they just are mean because it's like their defense mechanism. They don't want to get hurt, so they're just like mean first. But the truth is, you don't have to be a meanie. You don't. But I completely understand if you're in that era right now. Sometimes a revenge era is needed, you know? I think I've also come to a point where I understand good and bad human behavior, especially as a collective, of how at one point in our culture, TikTok was giving like villains more benefit of the doubt for being evil, like their origin story and all. And our world is not perfect. Hurt people hurt people. Bullying someone at school or kids having a rough childhood, I get it. It's got to come out somewhere. But do I wish pain could come out more healthily? Yes. A lot of people would probably not get hurt from it. I think more therapy is needed in our world, especially to those who clearly wish harm on others. They're probably the ones who have gotten hurt the most. And I hope I get to see that someday in my time here. As someone who has also been hurt by others, I try to also not spread negativity or negative energy on the internet. I'm not perfect, obviously, but I feel a bit optimistic this summer. This summer? No, stop. Get out of here. I feel optimistic this October, this fall, this autumn. I feel good. I do feel spicy. No, I feel playful. That's what it is. Yeah, spicy and playful. Okay, next. Number 4, I think. Use your harmony more than just surface level. Let me break this one down clearer because Libras, I know we love harmony. That's our comfort zone. Gosh, we're way too kind for this world. The problem is sometimes we only chase a surface level harmony. Exhibit A, smiling when something's wrong. Like, no, stop that. Saying it's fine when it's not. Smoothing things over so the vibe feels okay, but nothing's actually gotten fixed. That's like putting a pretty rug over a messy floor. It looks balanced, but underneath it's chaos. Side note, I went into a different room because it's just getting really loud. Outside, there's like, I don't know, a block party happening. It's 10 a.m. Moving forward in this harmonious podcast episode. So funny, we're talking about harmony and then it's just like chaos outside. Duality. But let's move on. When Libras operate more gracefully, they realize that real harmony equals depth and honesty. Depth plus honesty equals real harmony. Meaning, be willing to have the uncomfortable conversation. Don't just patch things up. Talk it through. Use your diplomatic style to create a safe, respectful space where both people's truths can exist. So instead of avoiding tension, I challenge you to see the next conflict that you have as an opportunity to restore true balance. Our lovely Venus charm helps you go deeper without making the other person feel attacked. This made me feel better too. For example, how many times have you had to say surface level Libra stuff like, it's fine, let's just drop it, I don't want to fight. Angels, that's peace on the outside and resentment on the inside. A Libra and her evolved self would instead say something like, I value our relationship too much to just brush this off. Can we talk about what happened so we can figure out a way to move forward with both of us feeling good? See, that's peace earned, not faked. Our superpower of harmony, our gift, I feel like can be seen as a bridge to like deepen connection, not just a mask, you know? I think that's when Libra energy is the most powerful. And lastly, which kind of goes into the last one I said, but you have to stop people pleasing, baby. The turning point for Libra is realizing if I betray myself to keep peace, it's not peace. Again, I feel like sometimes Libras think we're the saviors of the world. But you're not. You're human with a lot inside of you too, and it needs peace too. I think grace comes when you honor your own side of the scale equally to others. It's not about perfectly balancing every time, but it is about owning your truth, presenting it with kindness, and trusting that balance will naturally come from that. And that is all I have for you today, angels. Happy Libra season once again. I hope you were all able to get something out of this episode. If you have any other tips or advice to share to a Libra, by all means, put it down in the comments section. Share it with another Libra goddess, Aphrodite, descent below, or anyone who's just, not good at making decisions and trying to keep the peace. Be kind, be diplomatic, and most importantly, be honest. If you like this episode, please give it an orange heart for the color Venus, and follow or subscribe for more episodes on Spotify and YouTube every Friday. My TikTok and YouTube is at August and Venus. Instagram is My Life with Johanna, and that's all I have for you. Thanks so much again, Venus Angels. My name is Johanna, also go by August here at the Cove, and this is Venus Cove signing off. Until next time, Venus Angels.